My name is Antonia and this is PerryPictures. Today's video is going to be a double feature because we are doing a collaboration with Jamie is Fierce. The first thing I'm going to show you is her channel on YouTube. She has some remarkable videos in here. She is extremely talented, both as an artist and as an animator. She's created a lot of content that is serving the My Hero Academia fandom as well as the BitLife fans, which is how I initially ran across her videos and how I discovered her channel was through her BitLife videos. And she also does a lot of work with the Sims 4 game, which is absolutely mind-blowing because she's able to go in and mod things and create content in the game that I can't even comprehend how she does it. So it's really remarkable. If you enjoy that game, definitely check out her videos on that subject because they are just chef's kiss. Which brings me to today's video, which we are doing a mythical creature mashup between Jamie and I, and we are both going to contribute artwork to this challenge. And we both already submitted to each other a type of mythical creature over email without peeking at what the other person sent first. And what we ended up with was a Gorgon from me and a Phoenix from her. So we are going to combine those two mythical creatures together, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you the time-lapse video of my version of this. And I wasn't really quite sure at first how I was gonna draw this, so I went through a couple different pose ideas before I settled on the one that I am using in this speed paint. And probably the biggest feature of this character for me was the wings, because I wanted to make sure that the Phoenix portion was very prominent. I wasn't really sure how to draw the wings on fire necessarily, so I end up adding little flames in the irises of her eyes later on to try and capture that in this drawing. But to be fair, the Phoenix isn't always necessarily on fire. That is what it does at its rebirth phase, so hopefully this is still okay. I really enjoyed the way the wings turned out. I put a lot of love and effort into those. And then with her hair, I obviously had to go the Medusa route and give her this, Gorgon snake style hair. So I wanted to try and play with the shape of that a little bit and give it a lot of life and give it a lot of flowiness and movement, especially considering how static the rest of the pose is. And I really tried hard to give her this very silky, very aesthetically pleasing tail feather. And I went through a couple of different reference images trying to look at like peacocks with their tails not fanned out, but closed. But I am ultimately very happy with how my line art turned out, and I hope that Jamie is too, because I already sent this over to her in an email. We will see in her video what her reaction is to it, so hopefully it's a good one, because she will be coloring this for me and sending it back to me, which is what I will be doing with her version of the mythical creature mashup, which I have in an email waiting for me on my desktop right now. I have been holding onto this email for 2 days until I was ready to record my reaction to opening it, so I haven't peeked. This is going to be the first time I'm seeing it, and I will be seeing it on camera with you, and we will go ahead and check this out now. Wow, okay. That is beautiful. Oh, I love that she included the serpent's tail of the Gorgon. Whoa. And it's got feathers. Let me open this up even further. Let me go ahead and download and open this image up. So this, okay. Wow, Jamie. This is really cool. This is so cool. Oh my goodness. And the statue, the head that is a statue, those very clawed hands. Oh, and it's got feathers. There's feathers intertwined with the snakes in her hair. That is just gorgeous. I love how balanced this is between the two different creature types, the Gorgon and the Phoenix. I think that the gown is just so pretty. I love like the rope tassels, the way it's tied off. She's even got a scepter. Is that a scepter? It's a trident. She's even got a trident. Yeah, this is really cool. This is gonna be really fun to color. This is gorgeous. All right, so I guess the next thing to do is to go ahead and start coloring before I send this back to Jamie for her reaction. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright guys, so I opened this up in Creative first because I wanted to use this really cool function that this software has that allows you to just sort of dab in the colors where you want them, and then it will autofill with, you know, its artificial intelligence up to where it thinks you intended the color to go, following, you know, the reference line art layer, which you set. So that's what I'm doing now, and it saves so much time, but because of the level of detail on this drawing, it actually still took a decent amount of time. So I was kind of surprised, but also super relieved to be able to just get my base colors filled out this way. It really made things so much easier for me to get started, and I love that you're able to separate these out into separate layers. So I saved that as a PSD file, exported it, and then reopened it over here in Autodesk Sketchbook because that is my home when it comes to drawing. It is the software that I know the best and have the most complex relationship with. So coming in here, I knew already what brushes I wanted to work with to create these fiery glow coming off of the wings, and that is something that I couldn't resist. I dove right into that first and foremost. I usually save highlights for later, but I just really wanted to see what that was going to look like, so that was the first thing I did. The line art is slightly colored. I did tint it a little bit with more of a teal type color, but I couldn't commit fully to that because it wasn't really strong enough, at least at first, to really stand out above the base colors. But I do like how this minimizes the harshness a little bit, just enough for me to be able to really see the color come through. After doing the wings, I went straight for the toga. I wanted to try and work in some of the forms and the shapes of the fabric, starting with a multiply layer to add shadows and to create some of those contours with her body following closely to where the corded braid is, and then just flowing out from there. After that, I wanted to try creating some textured kind of scaly look on her skin. I then went over it again with another multiply layer to create these shadows and add some dimension to her body, which of course I then followed with a color dodge layer to drop in some highlights and give her body, especially that long serpentine tail, some nice sheen and a good silky glow. And I go back and forth a couple times building up the values on all of these different areas of interest. But probably the hardest part for me, honestly, was just trying to find complementary colors that, you know, look good together. I started off with this very salmon color and this teal, along with the yellow-green of her hair and body, which at first seemed like a very quirky combo and I was kind of feeling it, but the more I rendered it out, it got harder to see if it was still working. And then I started adding the gold bangles and things like that, which is just multiplying the amount of color competing for attention on this piece. But luckily, I think the white trident, as well as the very neutral marble stone head, kind of helped to give us some relief in the piece. And then for the background, I went with my very typical gradient. And for the gradient, I stuck with the colors in the piece itself, with exception to that blue that I kind of snuck in there. And at the end here, I just did one more pass for contrast and added some extra textures before exporting my final piece. So, what do you guys think? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below on both this version of the final colored image and this fiery rendition for her Phoenix rebirth. But wait, there's more. So I have finished coloring Jamie's version of the Mythical Creature mashup and sent that back to her, and I now have waiting on screen for me her colored version of my original line art, which I am so excited to see, but I've waited to open this until I could get it on camera with you guys. So now that we are all set up and ready to go, let's go ahead and open this email. Oh my goodness, the flames on these snakes, that is just insanely cool. Whoa. And the skin tone, wow. Yeah, there's just fire coming off of her all over. This is just insane. And these little scales that are painted here where the light touches the hips and the shoulders, that's beautiful. It really pops on the black background too. And those eyes, Oh, Jamie, those eyes look really cool. They're very glowy and haunting. I want to zoom in. Let's see if I can I zoom in on this, or do I need to download it first? I feel like such a noob. There we go. Okay, cool. So we can see some of this detail because this is just wild. So fire is hard to paint. It genuinely is very hard to capture fire, especially in a lined drawing, so a drawing with line art. A lot of times what I've tried to do when I've drawn fire is change the color of the line art to match, but what she's done here is really cool. She's basically painted in all of these feathers, all of these, and then she's just created this sharp pop along the edges with these white lines here, but that is cool. And then look at, oh man, and these little notched details here on the sides. It really gives it a feathered look. It's beautiful. And these snakes, I can't get over how beautiful these snakes are. They look like pure fire. Like they're just, I could see this like animated, you know, like the fire coming out and the snakes just sort of coiling around. And that face is so pretty. Look at these eyelids, how well she's really detailed in the contour of those eyelids. Oh, it's so pretty. She really brought what was such a simple drawing to such a detailed rendering, and I love it. I think that this is really cool. To be completely honest, cards on the table here. After seeing Jamie's line art that she sent to me, I actually was concerned and, you know, I was worried that the line art that I sent her was just way too thick. Like it was a really chunky line art. I was worried it was way too thick and it wasn't detailed enough. After seeing the amount of detail that she gave me to play with, I wondered if I had just kept things too simple, if it was too straightforward. But she took it and she made it work anyway, which is so cool. And it's something that, you know, it's not really a surprise because it's Jamie. So this is beautiful. It's everything I would expect it to be. With Jamie coloring it, and I am just really impressed. Yeah, so this has been really fun. Thank you, Jamie, and thank you everybody for watching. If you haven't already clicked subscribe to my channel before you head over to Jamie's channel, please remember to do that. And if you liked this video, please remember to like this video by hitting the thumbs up. I do have one more thing left to say. That is the comment of the week, because I would always like to thank you personally, the subscribers who are leaving comments on my channel, who are engaging with my channel. It's always appreciated. And I am going to throw right up on screen real quick here a comment that I received in the past week that really blew my socks off. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And don't forget to leave comments down below in this video, because I will be selecting a new comment of the week to feature in the next one. So drop a comment, let me know you were here, and I will see you next time. Bye.